Welcome to a very special Vintage SF. This is recent acquisitions. Normally, I film a video a month at the end of each month about people, places, and acquisitions. But this month, I've come across some very special books and quite a few of them. So this is a mid-January 2026 acquisitions video. And if you saw the thumbnail, you saw that I got some very interesting ones from Arkham House. Who's Arkham House? They're a publisher that came into being to try to preserve H.P. Lovecraft's work. So I believe they came about in the 1940s. They publish a lot of weird and horror fiction. I've learned about them from some of my friends here on YouTube, like Andrea at Infinite Text and Chris at Liminal Spaces. So when I saw some of these, I wanted to get them right away. Now, I have an ulterior motive here as well. I'm looking for the wisdom of the crowd here, the wisdom of my viewers. I work with a charitable organization that has come across a number of these Arkham House books, and I'm very curious about how potentially they should price them. What is the value of an Arkham House book from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and into perhaps the early 80s? I know it'll vary with authors, but are there some specific books or authors we should be looking for? I'm hoping also in the future that perhaps I can provide you an opportunity to be able to even purchase these books if they're valuable enough that we would use an online service to sell them. I know you're here for Arkham books. There's a lot of other books too to see. So let's first look at the 3 Arkham books that I picked up. Nameless Places, edited by Gerald W. Page. Now, all of these books have Bodart covers, so they've really kept them in great shape. This one is very crisp. This is from Arkham House. In 1975, it was printed, and there's the Arkham House icon. And here is the list of stories in this anthology and some of the authors. The second Arkham book I have here is The Horror at Oak Dean and Others by Brian Lumley. They were one of the first places to publish Brian Lumley stories and books. There is a bit of damage here on the back of this one, but otherwise, once again, it's a pretty crisp copy. It's from 1977. And here are the contents, the stories. And the last one I have here is another newer one, Watchers at the Straight Gate by Russell Kirk. This one is in really good condition. There's the Arkham House logo. This one is from 1984. So all of these are newer editions of Arkham House publishing. This is a short story collection, and it does have interior illustrations. As I said, I know that there's some older Arkham House books that have been donated, so I would love to hear where I could find information about it or what information you have and what to look for. I think you saw the condition here. I have seen some of the older ones. Some of the covers are a little bit rougher, but they are using Bodart cover over the dust jacket to preserve it. There's one other book that is in this vein, but is not from Arkham House. This one is Out of the Storm by William Hope Hodgson. It's always difficult to show a Bodart book, and here's some illustrations on the back as well, because it's illustrated by Stephen Fabian. It's edited and has a critical biography by Sam Moskowitz. These are Uncollected Fantasy Stories by William Hope Hodgson. There's the title page. It's from 1975, Donald M. Grant publisher. And so you can see there's a very extensive biography by Sam Moskowitz, and then the stories below. Let's take a look at a couple illustrations. Looks like Mutiny of the Rats. Perhaps a murder mystery. So I've read House on the Borderland by William Hope Hodgson, and I'm very interested in reading Moskowitz's critical biography of William Hope Hodgson. All right, those are probably the ones that people who are looking at Arkham House or those type of authors came for, but I still have some more old books. The Best from Fantasy and Science Fiction, edited by Avram Davidson. This is the 12th series. It says copyright 1961, 62, and 63 by Mercury Press. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm guessing it has to be the 1963 publication, perhaps. And here are the stories within. Quite a few authors you've probably heard of. Let's see here. James Blish, Joanna Russ, Edgar Pangborn. Avram Davidson has one story in here. Brian Aldiss, Kate Willem, J.G. Ballard, and Terry Carr. Now, when you're talking about the best from fantasy and science fiction, I believe they're talking about the magazine Fantasy and Science Fiction. And this is a Doubleday science fiction publication. Another Doubleday science fiction publication, a little bit older perhaps, The Big Eye by Max Ehrlich. I've never read anything by Max Ehrlich. Any recommendations? Here's the title page for The Big Eye. This is copyright 1959. You have to look at it with Roman numerals. Now, a couple more that are from the 1980s, I believe. This is a first printing of Blood Music. I do have another paperback copy, but I'm replacing it now with this printing. I believe this is from 1984. No, 1985. This next one is an omnibus of 3 novels. Michael Moorcock's The Nomad of Time. Includes The Warlord of the Air, The Land Leviathan, and The Steel Czar. I feel like I may have shown this one to you before. I did read The Warlord of the Air from the A Science Fiction Specials Series 1. Really enjoyed it. This is an alternate history style book. And the last one is by an author that I discovered, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago. Really enjoyed. Doesn't have many science fiction novels. Read them in paperback, and I found a hardcover first edition of Hero's Journey by Sterling E. Lanier, or Lanier. This is published by Chilton Books. One of the great science fiction classics, Dune. They advertise at the top here because they are the ones who published Dune. Here's the title page. Hero's Journey, A Romance of the Future. And the copyright is 1973. Those are the old hardcover books that I found over the last few weeks. I also have a couple older paperbacks. I've been looking for some Cook books. Glenn Cook, that is. Passage at Arms is one of his science fiction novels. This one is from 1985. I also found the Daw Science Fiction Reader. This is a very special anthology edited by Donald A. Wollheim, and you can see it features a number of authors here, but this is interesting because it's number 200, so this is a bit of a celebration or special issue of Daw. Speaking of cookbooks, I did get one more, or should I say perhaps 3 more, an omnibus of the Starfisher trilogy by Glenn Cook. I think I talked about this one before as well. Shadowline, Starfishers, and Star's End. The next ones, though, I think are new to you and to me. Whenever I see the imprint of Planet Stories, I like to pick up the book. Black God's Kiss by C.L. Moore. Here you can see the Planet Stories library, at least as of this publication. I do have the lead bracket book at the bottom there, The Secret of Sinharat. Strange Adventures on Other Worlds, available monthly exclusively from Planet Stories. I don't know how many books were published in this series. But we have Gary Gygax, The Anubis Murders, Michael Moorcock, City of the Beast. This book, and also Henry Kuttner's A Lack of Atlantis. Great authors with stories that would be reminiscent of Edgar Rice Burroughs. And this publication is from 2007. When I look at the publication of the stories within, they look like they're from 1934 to 1936 by Weird Tales. One of the channels that I watch all the time is Outlaw Bookseller with Stephen E. Andrews. And there is an author that he was recommending, a contemporary author, and so I picked up a couple of the books he was talking about. Dave Hutchinson, The Essence. This may be a book that I try first of Mr. Hutchinson's. And the second one that I picked up of Hutchinson's was Europe in Autumn, the start of a series. These are science fiction spy series in a future Europe. So I look forward to reading Hutchinson, and I'll give you my opinion. The last one, I've been trying to collect some of the hardcover editions of Canadian authors. Robert J. Sawyer is one of those authors. This is Quantum Night. Publication date, this is a first edition from 2016. So it's a relatively recent book of Robert J. Sawyer's. There's also a surprise here. A surprise that didn't affect the price of this book for me. It was signed. For Karen, with all best wishes from Robert J. Sawyer, March 4th of 2016. So I would say this is on the release of this book. So it's kind of cool to discover a signed copy when you pick up books from a used bookstore. I didn't realize it was signed until I was home and my wife asked me what year it was published. So that was a great surprise. All right, it's over to you now. I want to hear about Arkham Books. What kind of prices could a charitable organization charge for them? Is there a place we can find a price guide? Would you be interested in having an opportunity to pick up some, perhaps, on a website such as eBay? What do you think of any of the other books that I've picked up? Let me know in the comments below. I thank you ahead of time for the wisdom and perhaps enthusiasm you have for these books. Until next time, keep reading.